My name is Lakeisha Latimer, and today's date is April 7th, 2016. But before I begin my presentation today, I'd like you all to think about this question and answer it in your minds. Do images in magazines have a negative effect on the adolescent body image and self-esteem? Well, if your answer is no, I hope by the end of this presentation, I will have changed your mind. Because through Photoshop and weight articles, it causes the average teenager to develop a self-hate towards themselves. I will begin my discussion with the negative effects of Photoshop on the teenage mind. Here's your average teenage magazine article cover. Usually some teenage star or something on the cover. As you can see, she's very slim, very nice hair, and whatnot. She doesn't just look like your average female teenager. Magazines often include ads for beauty, hair care products, clothes, and perfume in which the models are photoshopped to society's idea of perfection. Photoshopping in teenage magazines has a massive impact on the lives of teenage girls. Photoshop artists produce a fake image of what is perceived in society's mind as perfection. From noses to teeth, eyes, hair, skin tone, and blemishes, no thanks to modern technology, practically anything upon one's body has the ability to be aesthetically altered with Photoshop. You may ask yourself, well, what's so bad about Photoshop? It can make everybody look better. But the problem with Photoshopping is the vast majority of girls just don't realize that practically every single photo shown in a magazine has been individually labored over and being edited for hours. Teenage girls have a tendency to think if a model can be so perfect, then, I can be too if I, work hard enough and whatnot. However, that is not the case. Almost no model is as flawless as their pictures may seem. No matter how hard we try, we're never going to be like the models in the magazines because they're not even like the models in the magazines. As you can see, one of the models from a magazine article took to social media to voice her truth. She says, "You will never look like the girl in the magazine. The girl in the magazine doesn't even look like the girl in the magazine." And she posted a picture of her natural self holding a magazine spread, which seems to be perfection. And just recently, Scandal star Kerry Washington was chosen to do a cover of a magazine ad week. And they photoshopped the photo to the point where Washington said, end quote, "It felt strange to look at a picture of myself that is so different from what I look like when I look in the mirror. It's an unfortunate feeling." So imagine how these young girls may seem if they want to look like this and they can't, when even the model doesn't look like that, and it's an unfortunate feeling for them. But teenage magazines ingrains false hope into teenage readers that if they do such and such or buy such and such, they too can look like the girl in the magazine, even when the girl in the magazine doesn't look like that. Teenagers should not be taught to hate themselves because their skin isn't fair and blemish-free, or because their natural skin isn't smooth and glowing, or because their hair doesn't have a lot of volume, or whatever. But this is what the magazines are teaching them. You're teaching them to hate themselves. Now you understand how much of a negative impact photoshopping in teenage magazines has on its teenage readers. I will now share with you all how the weight articles negatively affect its audience. Surrounding girls is pressure. Pressure to be appreciated, accepted, to fit in, and be liked. When they feel as if though they don't fit that criteria, they often fall into mental illnesses such as anorexia, binging, dieting, and other effects include mental conditions such as depression, low self-esteem, low confidence, and when taken to extremes, these illnesses can often result in death by either suicides or sicknesses. The weight articles choose to focus more on appearance and how weight loss will make you look rather than it actually being healthy for you. Sarah Mornan, a professor of psychology at Kenyon College, says, "Promotion in our culture has created a situation where a majority of the girls don't look like their bodies. Magazines create such a high standard that incorporates the glorification of weight loss and slender appearances. They portray the idea that being slender brings health, happiness, and success. The fashion model weighs 20 to 30% less than the average woman, which means that the adolescent girls who strive to be like these models will strive to attain this unhealthy weight goal just to be beautiful. The average American woman is 5'4" and 128 pounds, yet The model is usually 5'11" and weighs less than 110 pounds. The Teen Magazine report in 2003 showed that 50 to 70% of normal weight girls believe that they are overweight. And as you can see here in this picture, there's a girl looking into a mirror. She's, in real life, she's actually anorexic, and she's looking in the mirror, but she's like, views herself as fat because maybe she doesn't like this girl over here. And this just causes many sicknesses within the teenage girls. And when surveyed, the teen girls described the ideal woman with a height of 5'7", weighing under 100 pounds, and that is not healthy. 90% of women and girls are dissatisfied with their own appearance in some way. And to deal with this body unhappiness, girls resort to unhealthy dieting, drugs, eating disorders, excessive exercising, and even unnecessary, all because they want to look like the girl in the picture. A study conducted by Body Image in the Media shows that this exposure leads to higher levels of depression, dissatisfaction, anger, and low self-esteem. Sarah Morning completed a project consisting of 21 studies, including over 6,000 girls. Her findings were that those teen girls who are most likely to suffer from poor body images. Yet, other studies have shown that body image was significantly more negative after viewing an average-sized woman or a plus-size woman. Media messages proclaiming thin is in directly cause eating disorders. They help to create the context within which people learn to place a value on the size and shape of their body. Researchers who study eating disorder cognitions and behaviors have suggested that mass media, teenage magazines in particular, may play a role in triggering such practices. The objectification theory states that because females are socialized to see themselves as objects to be looked at, evaluated, they are more likely to feel shame for not feeling perfect. Not only does it negatively affect young girls, though, it also affects teenage boys. They portray images of muscular guys who are usually photoshopped as well, or use some sort of enhancement such as steroids. And it's just sad because all these teenagers are just striving to be something that they cannot be. Well, now you know the two major negative effects of teenage magazines: Photoshop and weight articles. As you can see, teenage magazines cause a great amount of problems in adolescence. There has been a direct causation of imagery in teenage magazines that cause self-harm. The teenage magazines negatively affect the their teenage readers, by selling them false dreams of perfection. I hope that you will all leave here awareness of how much harm these teenage magazines do to these young teenagers. So, I'll ask you this question one last time. Do images in magazines have a negative effect on the adolescent's body image and self-esteem? Thank you, and I hope you all have answered yes after this presentation. Thank you, and have a great evening.